It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
Oh my goodness, you made it through another week, and it means it's your favorite time of the week. It's time for a cup of coffee with Wild Will and Uncle Chris from none other than Slumberland at the Lake. And boy, a great show for you guys today. We got two in-studio guests. You're going to sit down with Nadine Kelsey from the Pregnancy Help Center here in just a couple of minutes. And then to end today's show, I'm going to be joined by Deputy Chief Steve Lucas with the Osage Beach Fire Protection District. And we've heard about this proposed sales tax increase. Well, hold up, it's not as it appears. A really good thing, not only going to save you money, but help our local fire department, and they need it. So we'll talk with him so you can have a better understanding. And some of our local stories, man, they get better and better, it seems. We've got someone stole somebody's boat and didn't make it very far. You guys know the Tom Sawyer paddle wheeler, the iconic boat.
See, and I don't know. I've never seen that. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, well, it's got a new home, and it made its way to its new home over the week. We'll talk about that. And we keep talking about this land behind the Camdenton Walmart, kind of in Lynn Creek, kind of in Camdenton. Well, Tuesday night, the city actually had a special meeting in Camdenton to see if they were going to have the land rezoned to a very unique zoning. We'll talk about that. And one of my favorite things, the Shootout Hall of Fame induction class was announced Monday night, so we'll tell you about that and a whole lot more. But first, it's going to be a message from Slumberland, and after that, Chris is going to be joined by Nadine Kelsey from the Pregnancy Help Center after this.
Hey everybody, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. Now that the 4th is over, we're moving into our 55th year of selling furniture. It's our anniversary sale. Come check it out. We have some awesome deals, great financing, and wonderful delivery team to get you taken care of. Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
And welcome back to A Cup of Coffee with Will and Chris. You can see Will has stepped off the set here for a second, and we're joined by Nadine Kelsey from the Pregnancy Help Center. I want to say Pregnancy Health Center, which you do, but that's not who you are. You're the Help Center, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So good. And the reason why we asked you to come join us here at Slumberland, to join us on Cup of Coffee today, is because you guys have some fundraisers coming up that we want to let folks know about. So what do you have coming up?
We do. One of the most exciting fundraisers I think that we have each year is our annual 5K walk run. So that will be Saturday, October 1st. The race starts at 9 a.m., but we have lots of activities, bounce house, kids games, food, coffee. That starts at 8 a.m.
Okay.
But yes, that is one of our biggest fundraisers every year, and everyone is welcome, whether you want to walk, run, or just come and hang out.
I like that you've added the walk in there, because a run kind of left my ammunition folder a long time ago, right? So people can come and run.
Absolutely.
Or just walk.
Yep.
Where do you do
or
this?
just not even do anything.
Or
you
just
can just hang out.
Yeah. Hey, here's a
you
donation.
You can cheer everyone on. Yep.
Where do you do this?
We do it at JJ Twiggs Pizza and Barbecue at Lake Ozarks. So it's right there at the HH and Bagnell Dam intersection.
Okay. Well, that's cool. And hopefully the weather will cooperate and stuff like that.
Yes.
What dates are this?
It's Saturday, October 1st.
Okay.
And you can register the day of, but it's much better to pre-register, which you can do right now by going to our website, which is phclozpartners.com. You can go under events and find out all the information and pre-register there. You get a little bit of a discount that way, and then you also get guaranteed a t-shirt.
Okay. And obviously for a great cause.
Yes.
The Pregnancy Help Center. So who can be involved in this? Can just anybody do this?
Yes, absolutely. We really like to make this something for the community, which is why we've added all of the kids' activities and just fun stuff for adults as well. So that way anyone of any age, of any ability can come and join us. And then something kind of newer that we've added is doing fundraising teams, which you can actually do as an individual also. You don't have to do it as a team.
Right.
But our grand prize this year for whoever raises the most is a pack of 4 Chiefs tickets.
Wow.
So it's pretty exciting. So we want a lot of people to get involved and do it that way. And even if you set up a fundraiser, you do not actually have to come and do the event. You can just raise the funds for the pregnancy center and win a prize.
Wow. Okay, so your grand prize, Chiefs tickets.
Yes.
That's nice. Do you have other prizes too?
Yes, every year we actually do a bunch of raffle prizes.
Okay.
This year we're doing something a little bit different, but we'll have baskets that are themed. So we'll have like an adventure basket or a family basket or kids basket. And those you can buy tickets to enter into that drawing for just $1 a piece at the event.
Okay, cool. So now is this the only fundraiser that the Pregnancy Help Center does, or are there other ones throughout the year?
Yes, so then our other one is the chili cook-off, which we just started up again last year.
Chili.
And it was so much fun. We had it at the Exchange.
Yeah.
It was just such a beautiful location anyway, but we got a lot of people in the community involved, and we're hoping this coming year, that'll be in March of 2023, I guess,
Wow.
goodness. We're hoping to get maybe some restaurants competing against each other and make it a little bit more spicy.
Oh, don't you love chili?
Oh, yeah.
I could have me some chili right now, man. I tell you what. So you guys are also involved in doing the baby bottle thing?
Yes.
Can people get involved in that?
Well, every year you can, yes. But
Okay.
right now we're kind of winding it down because
Okay.
it normally goes Mother's Day through Father's Day.
Okay.
There are still bottles that are, straggling around. And so just to let people know, if you do still have a bottle, please bring it into the center, turn it into your church, and we'll still take it back.
Okay, great. But the main thing coming up is your run walk.
Yes.
5K.
Yes.
And again, when is this and where do people go to sign up?
Yes, so it is Saturday, October 1st.
Okay.
So just a few months away. Still time to train though. And you can go register at our website, which is phclozpartners.com, and it's under events there. It'll have all the information you need, and then there's a little tab there that you can learn more and sign up that way.
Perfect. Okay, Nadine Kelsey, Pregnancy Help Center, thank you so much for coming by.
Yes, thanks, Chris.
And so we'll be back. We'll have Will back on set momentarily. Don't go anywhere.
It's bigger, it's better, it's back. The second annual Wiener Nationals, Sunday, July 17th at the Randolph County Raceway. There is fun to be had for the whole family with events like a hot dog eating contest, music from the Murphy Ford Band, 950 horsepower of Thunder super late model racing, and other surprises. We don't want to spoil all the fun. Proceeds from this year's event will all be going to local first responders in honor of Gary Evans. The 2022 Wiener Nationals, Sunday, July 17th.
Oh, a lot going on there. Of course, Nadine's always great. Such an important service here for Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, a lot of times you don't think about that until you're in that situation, unplanned pregnancy or something like that, and boy, can they help out, man. Wonderful people over there, Pregnancy Help Center. Check them out. Go to the website and take part in that fundraiser too. I mean, even if you can't run, you can walk.
Yeah, heck yeah. And on top of that, we have the Wiener Nationals spot, second annual fundraising event, going to be at the Moberly Raceway in Moberly. Over the weekend, we'll be there, so make sure you guys look forward to that. So our first local story, we said an alleged boat thief found adrift on Lake of the Ozarks. Patrol says he couldn't get the boat started. Right. Oh, boy, this is a good one.
When I first moved to the lake, because we've got a boat, and you'd drive over to some place, park in the dock, go in and eat. And my father-in-law would always tell me, just leave the keys in the boat. Nobody's going to steal that boat. I moved from the big city, I lock everything, right? And leaving my keys in the boat always made me nervous. Now it makes me even more nervous because some yahoo from Wisconsin comes down to dog days, tries to steal a boat, couldn't get it started, so it just left it adrift out there apparently in the cove.
Yeah, it's wild. It happened to Chad Kotz. He was at Dog Days with some friends. One of them pointed and said, "Hey, that looks like your Sea Ray." He goes, "That's a pretty common boat for the lake." Didn't think anything about it, but as he went down to the boat later in the evening, he realized that it was turned the opposite way. 2 men approached him and said, hey, is that your boat? He says, yeah. He said, well, 2 men tried to steal your boat, and they couldn't get it started, and it began drifting down the cove. Here's what's cool. You talk about a good civilian, that Sanchez, the guy that took the boat, allegedly attempted to steal the boat. The bystander jumped into the water, swam to the boat to stop him, and secured the vessel and back to the dock. The probable cause document noted Sanchez was allegedly visibly drunk at the time of the incident. Cott says he is consulting with his lawyer and still making sure there wasn't any lasting damage to his boat. He ended with, I'm going to go out and look for damages on the boat. It was too dark yesterday to do anything, and there were some personal items missing off the boat that belonged to his friends, and so he wants to get those back. But could have been a lot worse.
How about that Aquaman jumping in the water to go get the boat, man?
That would be
Wow.
you. That would be you after Dale beat the tar out of the guy that took his boat as he left his keys in it.
No kidding.
That's why he doesn't have to worry about it. You don't want to mess with Dale, man.
No, he's 83, but don't mess with him.
He'll whoop both of our butts together with his hands tied behind his back.
So that's pretty cool. That's a cool story, but yeah, you might not want to leave your keys in the boat anymore, but everybody does.
The mindset down here, I mean, I hate to admit this, keys in the car and stuff. I go down to Springfield or the city, and everyone's like, what are you doing?
I know.
And it's like,
People still make fun of me because I lock everything, man. I lock the house, I lock the cars, I lock the boats. But
he locks the trade drawer in his office when I need a gift card to go get something to eat.
Especially then, hey.
All right, so that had a better ending than it could have. The second story, you guys know of Tom Sawyer's paddle wheeler. It's an iconic boat. Of course, you're not familiar. There's the photo of it on the screen. It sank a few years ago, and Iguana brought it back to shore. They were the owners. Well, they've since sold this boat. Iguana Marine Group had possession of the excursion boat at the Bagnell Dam, and it sank in 2017. It was relocated to shore, and then 2 years ago, Iguana actually put it up for auction. That is when 808 Docks, their group, they bought it. They're from Gravois Mills, and relocated it to their welding shop on the west side of the lake. Now, they had to put a completely new bottom welded onto the Tom Sawyer. They put fresh coats of paint and many labor hours. Now, they haven't relayed or haven't announced their business plans for the boat, but there's lots of ideas, but nothing for sure. They did confirm, though, it's not going to be food service. It's not going to be some kind of mobile restaurant. We have seen that rumor on social media, but as Busta LLC is the ownership name of 808 Docks, said that there are so many possibilities. Everyone has a story about this boat. So there's one thing that's probably for sure. It's not real likely that you're going to see the Marty Bird route be taken as far as a floating casino, as way too many legalities and hoops and not a possibility at this point. But kind of cool that it's revived, and we're hoping to see it back on the lake in some form of business in the future.
Absolutely, and things like that are what add flavor to the lake area. Seeing the boats like that out on the water, and that just makes people want to come, join in, do those things, be a part of that. The kids see the boat out there, we got to do that, mommy, daddy, kind of thing. So hopefully they'll get that running. And I think now, as busy as the lake is, with so many people coming here, probably would be a successful venture. So kudos to them for putting the money into that, putting that iconic boat back together. It must not have sank in very deep water if they pulled that sucker up, right?
It was close to the shore. It stayed down there by the dam in that cove. I don't know how deep, but I mean, you just call the walrus. He'll get anything that's up to the bottom of the lake, including the boat. But you see, you're newer to the lake, so the Larry Dawn and the Tom Sawyer, and on the strip when you used to have skee ball and bumper boats and bumper cars, and it was different. Some of those things are iconic to people with ties to the Lake of the Ozarks, and so the Tom Sawyer definitely is nostalgic for so many people that have ties.
Back. Yeah, and I remember the old big houseboats that used to be, that came out of where the cave is now, and they took all those big boats off the lake too. I missed those. Those were great.
Yeah, you were a wild man for all that you remember. This guy's got a better memory than I do about things taking place at the lake. All right, so our next story, we talked about, that big area behind Camdenton. It's partly Camdenton, it's partly Lynn Creek. Well, Monday, KRMS reports the Camdenton Board of Aldermen is expected to meet in what should be a fairly short special session, which took place Tuesday night. highlighting the agenda was a resolution which, if they approved it, which we don't know at this point in time as we record on Tuesdays, would allow the city to use ARPA grant funding, the federal funding being funneled through the Missouri Department of National Resources, would allow the city to pay for the expansion of one lift station and then make modifications at the wastewater treatment plant and replace a second lift station in the Blair Avenue sewer line. The Camden Special Board of Aldermen meeting took place Tuesday at 5:30 in City Hall, so looks like a big step there. And so we'll have a follow-up story next week with the findings at that meeting, and I have the tentative agenda from that meeting and what they went over, as you see on your screen now. But next week on Cup of Coffee, we'll be talking with members involved in this from the city of Camdenton, and that way we can kind of help piece this together. But that's such a cool potential development. It's going to take place, and what is going to go there exactly, you know, all the new businesses, all the new opportunities. It's just exciting about what's going to end up happening there.
Well, and this is a really important piece of the puzzle as far as community growth. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, our area has grown so much the last few years. Housing has been a big problem, and that's one of the main things that this new development out there in between the Walmart in Camdenton and Lynn Creek would address. Is apparently a whole lot more housing and hotels and all that stuff, and it looks like the city of Camdenton is really jumping in and helping them on that. So that's all looking good.
And we will keep you guys posted on next week's Cup of Coffee. On that, our next story, Chris, the event was Monday at the Bend, was pretty cool. Not only did Showcase Publishing's official Shootout program guide hit newsstands, a publication that donates $50,000 back to the Lake of the Ozarks charities and fire departments through the Shootout. It was launched, or it was shown and unveiled on Monday, but also the 10th annual Bob Morgan Memorial Shootout Hall of Fame induction class was announced, and for another year, the Shootout Board of Directors knocked it out of the park, leading the induction class. Great friend of Lake TV's, Mark Mawson, owner of Polylift Boat Lifts, inducted. He's been part of the event ever since he was a teenager, and his dad was involved. You also have Scott Lyons and Robin Suentes of Central Power and Rigging, and they've got a storied history, including racing and working with Slug Hefner, Doc Jansen, Bob Morgan, some of the iconic names in Lake of the Ozarks Shootout. John Tiekman is the owner of the original Shootout location, Shooters 21. He was inducted. Mike Gordon, a firefighter in Kansas, he competed in his first race back in '95. Mike Gordon, or they call him Gordo.
That's before I was born, man.
Yeah, as if. I'm sure, what were you? So 95? Do the math here. That's like 27 years. Yeah, you were like, what, 3 or 4 then?
Shoot, man, I was still older than you are now.
Yeah. And Missouri Eagle, they've been a huge corporate sponsor with the Shootout for many, many years, and they got the induction. And then another one, we just love the Wagners, Michael and Tony Wagner and Sandy LaFoon. They've operated the most critical tools at the race, the radar guns, and their continued dedication and service has landed them a nod for the Bob Morgan Memorial Shootout Hall of Fame.
And we've got the Wagners coming up on the Community Spotlight show here on Lake TV, so you can get to know them better. Great people, wonderful people.
Incredible people, so involved in so many things, from Pumpkin Chunkin' Palooza and the Rotary to the Shootout to Winterfest, and of course their local churches. Great people. We absolutely love them. All right, so there is a huge forum coming up Monday on the 25th right here on Lake TV. All of the things that are on the ballot, from presiding commissioner to prosecutor, circuit judge, associate circuit judge, collector, auditor, all of those things. And even if they're running unopposed, they're going to have an opportunity to address their constituents, the community. That starts at 5:45 on all Lake TV platforms Monday, July 25th. So make sure you get ready for that.
So that's just about a week before the actual election day, which is August 2nd. So again, that's Monday, July 25th. Be sure to tune into that, because you get to hear what the candidates are saying for themselves, you know, and this some big heated races this time around. So check that out.
The most important local election we've had here at Lake of the Ozarks of all time. Some huge things will be decided, and whichever way the community votes, we will either kind of stay where we're at in a sense, or we will look to head in another direction. And it's interesting when you look at the presiding commissioner spot, and you also look at the prosecutor spot, probably the most heated battles as far as those positions leading into elections. So that forum is going to be big. Closer to the election, you'll have an opportunity to get a chance to see where these candidates are at.
And there may be some fireworks, because there have been some behind-the-scenes tapes released leading up to these elections and all that stuff.
We played, some of those right here on Cup of Coffee, and the only fireworks that I'm hoping we see is if someone pranks the event and throws in some firecrackers or something. Now that would be don't recommend that. All right, so lots of great stuff besides the forum on Lake TV. We've got Bob and Jeff Shore for the fourth part of the Shore family legacy on Community Spotlight with this guy right here. Man, those Shores, their history is incredible.
Oh, they got some great stories. Well, they've been running Camdenton Laker football, the Shore family, for 50 years. So some great stories, state championships, how they came in, how they made the transition, from father to son and all that stuff. So be sure to watch the Spotlight show every day on Lake TV, 9, 3, and 7. Great stuff.
And also, don't miss Tuesday and Friday nights at 8:30. You can catch the Lake TV Classic games. Some of the best games we've ever had in 10 years of doing high school sports. I mean, Camdenton back in the day, Bo Dean at quarterback, if that rings a bell. So some really good stuff. And that's pretty much going to do it for Uncle Chris this week. We're not done with the show, but we didn't tell you about the biggest one-day event at the lake each year. So instead of me tell you about it, I'm going to let you check it out for yourself.
It's Aquapalooza 2022 on Saturday, July 16th at Captain Ron's. Get ready for the lake's largest family event of the year. Benny Media proudly presents a day filled with 4 of the hottest bands in the Midwest, cold drinks, and more fun in the sun than ever before. Get ready for this epic annual event at Captain Ron's at the 34.5-mile marker by boat or off Aloha Lane in Sunrise Beach. We'll see you at Aquapalooza.
That's right, Aquapalooza this Saturday, so don't miss it. It's noon to 5, as you just saw, so make sure you turn out. Now, as we promised, on the other side of the break, we've got Deputy Chief Steve Lucas with the Osage Beach Fire Protection District here on set. Welcome, Deputy Chief Lucas. Thanks for coming, man.
Glad to be here.
Man, and this is a great time to have you on, because all I have seen and heard about recently is you guys have been pushing hard for the August 2nd election. You guys have a proposed sales tax increase. And before you guys freak out, this is actually going to be a really good thing for our area. But before we go into the details, I want to kind of break down and share with individuals a little bit about the Osage Beach Fire Protection District. Some of the important stuff, like how many miles you guys service, how many stations, how many fighters, staff members, all of those things, so we can understand what we already have.
Absolutely. Osage Beach Fire District is 105 square miles. We go all the way out 42 almost to Brumley, to 4210 out that way, and we go all the way out A Road all the way to the A&E Junction. We go up 54 towards Camden all the way to about midway up the hill, right before Cross Creek subdivision, the road for that, and all of Y Road, all of Osage Beach, Lynn Creek, and Kaiser. We cover quite a bit, with 2 paid fire stations and 2 outlying stations.
So 2 outlying stations, 2 main ones that are manned, and then the 2 outlying. What do those mean?
They have trucks in there, but they do not have people there 24/7 like we do on the 2 manned ones. The 2 manned ones, we have minimum staffing is 3 firefighters per station, and then a deputy chief, which is kind of like a battalion chief, and we go in and we're the supervisor for the shift. So most calls we get at the maximum will have 7 people until we get mutual aid from our neighbors.
Wow, that's a lot. So that's how you have it. How many firefighters are typically scheduled or on duty with Osage Beach?
It's full schedule. It'd be a captain, an engineer, and 2 firefighters, so 4 per truck. So that's 4 at each station plus me. So that's maximum. We typically run minimum staffing because someone's either off training, going to a class, off sick, vacation, comp time, those sort of things. So we just go ahead, and what we do for a living is plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And we just go ahead and plan for having 3 people on a truck.
Yeah, you mentioned, the square miles and the amount of area that you guys service. And for those of you that know Lake of the Ozarks, these lake roads and these different areas, they're not always super, super close. And so that brings me to your guys' funding to try to keep up with this crazy diverse area as far as the way it lays out. So how do you guys currently get your funding?
We get all of our funding right now from a assessed property tax on your real estate property. Right now we should be getting 77 cents per $100,000 of assessed valuation. But there was a lawsuit a couple of years ago, Blankenship versus Franklin County, and they took 3 cents off the top of our tax bills. So
that equated to a large amount of money annually.
That's just short of $400,000
that you guys lost from your fiscal budget.
With the way the economy's going and everything is costing a good amount more, so that's already putting us behind because we're on basically a fixed income from what we get for our taxes on our revenues from the tax money. Then you take $400,000 out of our pocket to begin the year, and then everything's going up more, and we're getting busier. As you guys are well aware, there's been a lot of people moved to this area, so our population is up. Yeah. Population's up, our call volume's up. We're running a little more than 2,000 calls a year out of a small little town like this.
So your budget's not getting bigger, your department's not necessarily getting bigger, but the demand and need is certainly getting bigger.
It's on the rise.
That brings me to the August 2nd election, the ballot. It's a proposed sales tax. And what exactly does that mean for you guys should this pass?
So if we do a half-cent sales tax, that means when you go to the grocery store and you spend $200 on whatever goods you're doing, we get $1 out of that. And if we collect whatever monies we collect, half of that goes back to the county to reduce the sales of the real estate property tax.
Right.
And the other half of it comes directly to us as a form of revenue.
So really it's a win-win there.
So it'll roll your taxes back. So unless you're spending $250,000, that's kind of that tip even point, and typically that would be a boat.
Yeah, I mean, that would be, you're spending a lot of money throughout the year. So you're actually going to save money potentially. And just talk about some of the needs you guys have currently with some of the equipment and upgrades and software and communication stuff that you guys really need an additional amount of funding for.
Fire trucks are unbelievably expensive. There's so many safety and fail-safes put into them through the NFPA, which is our governing body. And when they put all those extra fail-safes and stipulations in them, the cost goes up. And a typical, like our frontline pumpers right now are right around $800,000 when we got them a piece. Yeah. And so what we're wanting to do with some of the sales tax money is start up or refund our capital replacement program. So we don't have to go out for a bond or anything when we need to replace trucks. We can just pay it out of our pocket, per se. And so if we start putting a little bit back each time, we'll have stuff for it. But I mean, the typical lifespan on a frontline engine is between 8 and 12 years. Well, it takes 8 and 12 years to save up because by then, that's going to be $1.3 million.
Right, that's a ton. And one thing I love about the Osage Beach Fire Protection District, you guys are very good stewards of your money. You're very diligent, and you guys have been in this process. This is August 2nd, and this is big. And real quick, currently when someone comes to the lake from out of the area and they need the services of our Fire Protection District, our police, guess whose taxpayer dollars are currently footing that bill? It's you guys, it's us, the ones that are down here. With this proposed sales tax increase, it would now fall partly on the visitors, and it's a very minimal amount that will actually save you 50% on your assessed property value that goes to the Fire Protection District. So if you paid $300 last year towards the Fire Protection District through your assessed property value, this year that would be projected, or next year that would be projected to be cut in half, so you'd actually save money throughout the year. So I know you can't say this legally, a lot of people can't say this, but I'm saying it. Vote yes on August 2nd for the proposed sales tax increase to benefit the Osage Beach Fire Protection District. Deputy Chief Steve Lucas, where can we find out more, reach out to you guys, maybe sit down and have a more in-depth conversation?
You can go to our website, which is osagebeachfire.net or .com.
OsageBeachFire.com.
We've got a PowerPoint on there, explains it in detail. There's several tabs on there, explains what we're doing and what our platform is on all this. find any of our firefighters. We'd be glad to sit and talk with anybody.
Awesome. That is Deputy Chief Steve Lucas with the Osage Beach Fire Protection District. That's going to wrap up this week's Cup of Coffee from here at Slumberland Furniture. I certainly appreciate you coming by.
Thank you very much.
He didn't say it, but I did. Vote yes on August 2nd.